Hello, and welcome into another edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. I'm Sammy Miller alongside Chris Cartman, following press conferences with ASU head coach Herm and defensive coordinator Donnie Henderson. Chris, there's been a lot of talk about ASU not being able to convert on third downs. They're only 2 of 13 in their game against Oklahoma State. What are your thirds on that?
Yeah, and a lot of them were bad situations where they were 6 yards or longer, more than half of them actually in the game. 6 of the 13 were 3rd and 10 or longer. They were in a conundrum in this game because they wanted to play a slower tempo, not have 3 and outs, so they wanted to run the ball to sort of be able to sustain drives, but then they weren't able to put themselves in situations where they could run for third downs. They had none that were rushing in the game. So there were a lot of questions. Herm said that he doesn't regret it, that they feel like they made the right mistake, but they didn't convert on some of those. Emory Jones, no scrambles for first downs. That's something that we saw a lot in recent years with Jaden Daniels, so we'll see how they adjust moving forward.
And penalties were once again another hardship for the Sun Devils, especially in that fourth quarter, which led to OSU having back-to-back touchdowns. So how do you think penalties affected the team?
Yeah, pretty significantly. After a clean game in the opener, they had 10 penalties in this one. They didn't have the offensive procedural penalties that were costly last year, but they had multiple roughing the passer penalties. They had holding in the defensive secondary, and those things were really costly, especially in when the game kind of get out of hand. And that's in that fourth quarter. They gave it the 2 touchdowns back to back. They had costly penalties, including they should have been a 3rd and long, and instead Oklahoma State had a first down. Then the next drive there was a holding and a roughing the passer. Those are the types of things that you can't have happen against a team that's capable of scoring the ball at a high rate, and especially when you're playing on the road.
This team is looking a lot healthier. They got a lot of guys back. So how do you think that'll help in their game against Eastern Michigan?
Definitely. Jordan Clark played a lot of snaps, hadn't practiced for 3 or 4 weeks prior to that. That gives them depth at nickel, where DJ Taylor's played pretty well. Demarcus Davis was rusty starting at corner after missing the entire preseason. I think he'll be able to get kind of work back into a better rhythm against Eastern Michigan and beyond. They may even be able to get Garen Stansberry back. He's a guy who missed the first couple games with a hamstring injury, a talented young pass rusher. So yes, especially on defense, they seem to be trending in a good direction.
Well, that's all the time we have today on this edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill, but we have a lot of coverage, so make sure you stay tuned on sundevilsource.com.